People who were asked, sell me this pen during a job interview. How did you answer? You wanna see a magic trick? Only if I don't need to put in it. This guy saw Batman. Well, I saw Get Hard, so now your pen has been keistered. Probably gonna make it hard to sell back to you. Not me, but a former sales manager was a douchebag who prided himself on being the greatest and the only one who knew everything about sales and tech. He didn't. Hence the word former. He was trying to find a new salesperson, but rejected nearly every resume I put in front of him for nitpicky bullshit until one day he announced that he'd found the perfect candidate and was bringing him in for a formal interview, but he was pretty sure he was going to hire him on the spot. He kept going on and on about how this guy was perfect and why couldn't we find him someone like this and blah blah blah. Whatever. Fine. Just get it done. He brought the guy in, sat him down, and said, sell me this pen. The guy picked up the pen, handed it back, and said, I don't play pen games. Then he walked out, and we never heard or saw him again. Awesome burn. He had that guy figured out right away. Would you really hire somebody who charges you 50 quid for a pen that was already yours to begin with? 50 quid, alright. 30 for you. Deal. That's how a guy got me to buy a camp trailer. He started the price out 3 grand over what I was wanting to pay then. Before I knew it, he was knocking the price down without me saying anything. I felt like the best negotiator for getting the price I wanted and was driving it home before I realized I paid exactly what he asked for it. But did he have dags? Edit. Gold for this. Thanks, I guess. Low bar. Dags. Yeah. Dogs. Did he have some? I did this once. I didn't take it seriously at all, since it was for selling advertising on the 8th ranked country station in a small liberal town. Instead of selling the guy a pen, I got him interested in buying a pontoon boat, as he mentioned having a base boat earlier in the interview. He was like, sell me this pen. And I said, why? Are you in the market for a pen right now? Is that a problem you're having a hard time solving yourself? And then we started talking about free time and hobbies. It totally worked. And I don't know how. And I also didn't care, because that job sucked. This made me laugh so hard, because I had this sell me the pen question presented to me in an interview, to sell ads on the local talk radio station that was by far the lowest ranked station in the region. I said something like, everybody wants to rely on their Palm Pilot to keep organized. But what if you drop it in the river? You're gonna need to go anywhere. Compact. Dependable pen as a backup. This was a very pontoon/base boat heavy area, so it seemed to really hit home. Everyone has dropped something in the river. Cheers to an oddly similar experience. That job sucked so bad. Any item you drop in the river is useless really. What you actually need is this fishing net. $200. Aha. Now you have a future in sales, my good redditor. But sir, I applied to be a janitor. Apostrophe. Look here sonny. Sales isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Ends up selling drugs to students. The American dream. In it. Wanna go bowling? I asked, may I see it? I then put it in my pocket. He asked for the pen back, and I tried to charge him £10 for it. I didn't get the job, or get to keep the pen. Can I get the pen back? What pen? Mon mister. Burns, I think we can trust the president of Cuba. It's full of what? This pen has the antidote. Remember your coffee from before the interview? Which one? The one I switched with yours while you weren't looking? They were both poisoned. I spent the last few years building up an immunity to arcane powder. Apostrophe. You fell victim to a classic blunder. During our interview for an electronic sales job, the interviewer asked me to take home a fairly expensive floor model of Blu-ray player and come back the next day with a sales pitch. It was very strange to put trust in me as he had just met me in the interview 5 minutes ago. I came back the next day with a bunch of product knowledge and landed the job. Worked there for several years, and oftentimes the boss would send us home with cool new electronics to try out, sometimes even keep. It was a rewarding place to work, and also a great way to get product experienced sales staff. Ran out of business by Best Buy unfortunately. Probably a bit of a test with that interview. And for the cost of that floor model, which was probably coming down soon, they could see if you were trustworthy enough to be left with merchandise. I'm sure not everyone came back the next day and just kept the borrowed player. Precisely. He was a genuine boss with some interesting methods. I'm going to reach out to him today and say hello after this post. I'm sure he's going to be thrilled to hear from Satan. I know from experience. Satan's a nice guy. Stood up and fucked off out of there. It was a job for truck driving. What a cunt. Right. I've been asked this question in warehouse and administrative work. If the job ad gives the faintest hint of sales being involved, I have absolutely no interest in it. Yet this question still gets used. I know where you are coming from. I think the guy interviewing thought he was being smart. I already had a job, so I could afford to be picky, and as soon as I heard his bullshit I had enough. I don't think he saw it coming at all. Please tell me you at least stole his pen, lol. It wasn't a very nice pen. I left him holding it. The look on his face was priceless though. I don't have to. You already bought it, he got the job. The real trick is making people pay for something they already own. Like Mercedes BMW having a subscription service to use the heated seats. Are you serious? The world is so crazy I can't tell anymore. I heard it being asked at a group interview by the new lady from ours. I shot her a WTF look, she asked a different question instead. Group interviews can get fucked anyway. Oh yeah. We had to fill 50 positions. Our thought it would be a great idea to use our empty warehouse at one end of the facility to put about 200 or so applicants in, with a filtering system for interviews/group exercises. A total and utter clusterfudge. Was the only time we ever did them. We do that at my current job. We have 3 events a day for however many days we need, and a maximum of 10 candidates per event. It's my job to do this. Then they wanted me to introduce a 10-minute one-on-one interview process for a warehouse job that pays slightly above minimum wage. And they wonder why I'm burnt out. And they wonder why it's hard for them to fill roles and keep good employees. The qualification creep that's going in the workforce is fucked. Want a minimum wage warehouse job? Better have a degree, 2 years experience in a similar role, and be prepared to go through 2 to 3 interviews competing with 100 people for 3 positions. Easy. Tell the interviewer you cannot, because your sale method is not selling a customer something they do not need, but match the right customer to the right product at the right time. They are so impressed they want to write that note on the back of your resume. Suddenly they do need a pen. Then you sell them for £50. I only accept Dogecoin. You time travelers are so obvious. For the last time. No, you can't have my ticket to the moon. I sacrificed my dignity in attempt to fool someone into buying something they didn't need. I have the same one at home. The outside may be generic, but it has Mont Blanc guts. Apostrophe. I was told that I was the owner of a pencil store, and my interviewer said that he only needed a pen. When I started to pretend offering him a selection of pens, I was stopped. No, your only inventory is pencils. Specifically the real life no. 2 pencil on the table between us. So I changed tactics. If you are in that dire need of a pen, then I'm assuming that something must have gone wrong with your day. If everything was according to plan for you, you'd have a pen in your pocket and would have passed my shop by and gotten on with your life. But something went wrong, which happens. If I sold you a pen, then it could break. It could ruin that nice suit, and a 3-cent piece of plastic could cost you hundreds of dollars in the process. All because something simple went wrong. If something goes wrong with one of my pencils, the worst outcome that could come from a pencil. Here I hold out the pencil and snap it half, you just end up with 2 pencils. I hate sales, but I'm still completely dorkily proud of that particular bullshit. I can't help but imagine how awkward it must be if you didn't have enough strength to break the pencil, lol. Interviewer, that pencil was a gift from my deceased father. Now you have 2 pencils from your deceased father. Fuck, you're hired. I would tell them that I had already created a website to purchase pens called Pen Island, and would encourage them to visit penisland.com. You sumbitch, I actually fell for that. I once had a job of a shitty office supply company, you know the one, where it was our literal job to sell pens to people and try to upsell them on stupid shit they didn't need/or want. It was all randomized and scripted though as to what it would try to upsell them on. I see you've bought a bulk package of 100 Bic pens today for like $8.99. Would you like to purchase 4 Micropoint Gel ink 4 color pack of pens for $11.99? It was absolutely ridiculous. I almost always refused to do it because it was stupid and the customers generally appreciated the fact I wasn't reading them some pre-scripted bullshit on some garbage they didn't want/need. My stats were fantastic, but because I didn't do the upsell bullshit, I was eventually fired. And not because of that. They decided one day I had a customer on hold too long, 4 to 6 minutes, while trying to find them an answer to their question that required me to get up from my desk cube, track down my supervisor who then had to track down the manager. Fuck that place. To be honest, your time plus your supervisor's time plus your manager's time, cost of a pack of pens. You would have to get that customer to buy bajillions packs for your choice of how to use their times and yours. Be worth it. Yeah, but maybe because they got such good attentive customer service on a pack of pens, they'll come back for that expensive laptop. I sold a guy a truck. About a week later he interviewed me for a job. Didn't know it would be the same guy. He asked me the pen question, paused and said we did that last week and moved on. Disassemble the pen and give them one part for free and offer the rest in a series of microtransactions. Congratulations. You've been hired by the EA sales department. Be more creative with your interview questions. The questioner became the questionee. They are asking zeg questions. R/user me checks out. Not quite the same. But I was filling out an application for a job once when the owner came back where I was and said if you can name the song on the radio right now, you can have the job. I was able to name it and started at 5 that night. Close bracket. What song? We need to know. Okay. But by what artist? I was once at a job fair where this wasn't even attached to an interview. It was more like an open mic night kind of thing. I skipped it. Edit. On another job, a customer told me that my describing my dislike of upselling was a bonding experience with the customer who doesn't want to be upsold and thus a really slick sales tactic. He didn't seem mad. So, either sales is really 12th dimensional Zen chess and I accidentally made a good play, or he was just messing with me. I don't know. I had a customer tell me he would never hire me for a sales job, but he wanted my card because he didn't want to work with any other salesperson. Huge fucking ego on that guy who thought he'd mastered 4D chess. And while I do take pride in not being into snake oil bullshit, even if that's just some psychological rationalization in my head because I'm bad at it, fucko probably didn't even notice I'd sold him high margin accessories and the warranty plan. From my employer's perspective, it was the perfect sale. Cons work best, pretty much only work, when the mark thinks they're the one who is getting one over on you. Mike Skinner said it best. You'll never con an honest John. An honest John you can't drag down. The conned only get conned when they think they're the conning one. Neighbor, you won't con an honest John. You're not my market. I can get more elsewhere. I'll keep it for now. Thanks. Instantly hired. As an engineer, I've never had this question asked of me. That's because engineers aren't good with people. So you have a people person like Tom Smokowski to sell the pen. Look, buddy, I'm an engineer. I can't sell you that pen. But give me 5 minutes and I can design you an improvement. Apostrophe. Would you say improving that pen would be a practical problem? It doesn't sound like one of them conundrums of philosophy. Now, the number one question on my mind at this point is, what would this pen do to a mean mother hubbard who wanted to tear me a structurally superfluous new behind? I took it home with me. Later, when the interviewer phoned me and asked for it back, I said £50 and it's yours. Assuming this is real. Did you get the job? No. But I'm a proud owner of a £50 pen. That's all that matters. Damn straight. Pull off my shirt to reveal the Staples uniform underneath. You mean sell it to you again? Apostrophe. Sell you a pen you've already stolen from the supply room? What's the point? Why yes, it is a ballpoint. I asked them why. You already bought it. They told me I had to prove my salesmanship skills. So I said why? You already paid for it. Clearly the product speaks for itself. Just like our product does. I got the job. but it turns out I was actually interviewing to be a janitor and they got me confused with someone else. Obviously you were overqualified. I failed TBH, but I was taken from a fast food joint and then thrown into sales. I said, what do you need a pen for? Best sales strategy is to ask questions before you make your approach. It must be pretty great if you want it. I don't know if I even want to sell it now. I think I'm going to keep it. I was asked a variation of this question during an interview at Radio Shack. It wasn't sell me this pen, though. It was sell me a cell phone plan. My entire response was more or less on the fly bullshit, so I don't remember what my exact words were. Basically, though, here's what I said. No, I'm not going to try to upsell you, but I'm going to tell you the truth. A growing number of your friends, your family, and your coworkers have cell phones, and they are adapting to a world wherein everyone is reachable at all times. Moreover, they are increasingly communicating by way of text messages, and if you can't send and receive those, you're going to end up missing out. Loved ones might worry when they can't get a hold of you. Employers might pass you over for promotions, and you might be the last to know when something big is happening. Now, I don't know you. I don't know what your needs are. It would be dishonest of me to say that you have to sign up for a cell phone plan today, so I'm not going to try to sell you one. At the same time, though, I'd like to help you with those needs, and if you think that you'd like to keep in touch with the people in your life, then I'd be happy to help you. The eyes of the guy interviewing me kind of glazed over while I was going through all of that. Afterward, he half-heartedly said, yeah, okay, so it sounds like you're a good salesman. How do you feel about working weekends? I was initially excited to accept the job, but after I thought back over my above described spiel, I realized that I wouldn't feel good about hoodwinking people into purchases. After all, upselling from behind a veil is still upselling, and it wasn't something that I wanted to do. TL. Doctor, I sold him the pen by pretending that I was refusing to. Overkill. Seems like this question is almost exclusively asked to overqualified people applying for the job. If you are new to Tattletale TV, please subscribe. We have new videos every day. Stay tuned for more coming up next.